Hello, I am Vicky Lemon, and I am here to show you the latest episode of PlayStation Unchained. Normally people clap at this point. Um, we have brought some brand new features for the podcast, including horses, radio towers, and men in funny hoods. I wanted to do this conference alone, but I felt an outside opinion would be very good. So I brought in a good friend of mine, Brazilian superstar, Pele. Hello, Pele.
Hello. Uh, did I tell you about that time I did that difficult challenge? It was when
No?
it was that penalty. Oh, it was so beautiful though. It was the most hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was straight fantastic, I
Oh,
believe is what you say.
yeah.
It's a fantastic thing you have done, and but it's not as good as the story you told me about losing your wallet in one of your trousers, and then you had to go back and find the trousers. But it was in your trousers anyway. Oh, we laughed.
Oh yes, that one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
I
So,
laughed. I found out that it was the penalty where I felt my trousers fell down. I lost them there.
which was crazy because you normally would not wear the trousers in
Uh,
this sort of situation.
I thought it'd be more challenge. You know, I'm best footballer ever. So
Yes. Anyway, I suppose we should say on with the show.
I
We've got exciting things to show you. We promised the world, and it will probably be a little bit shit. But
beautiful things. Beautiful
beautiful
shit.
beautiful shit. So, onward and enjoy the show.
You're listening to PlayStation Unchained.
Hello, and welcome to PlayStation Unchained. And you may notice that it's not a regular hosting voice today. No, today it's me, Neil Bolt, hosting for the first and possibly last time as it brings upon the apocalypse. And with me today is, as ever, the ever-present, the stable pillar of this podcast, Ben Shillabell Hall. Ben, how are you today?
To be honest, Neil, if anything was going to bring upon the apocalypse, it was the E3 news we had at Sony's conference.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if Valve had come out and announced Half-Life 3, it's pretty much confirmed. That would be the Four Horsemen.
That was the last title. I hear that someone had to intercept Gabe Newell at stage to stop it from happening when they realised that the storm clouds were brewing overhead and buildings were being ripped apart.
Yeah.
And someone just literally had to knock him out. Because he was supposed to come out right at the end on that last bit before the Uncharted demo.
Yeah. We all knew that. Yeah.
Just avoided for another year.
So yeah, apart from that, good.
Good. Fantastic. You enjoy E3?
Oh, I did so much. It was amazing.
Yes, we had some fun times covering it this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Especially taking the mickey out of certain French publishers. So.
It's okay, we climbed the radio tower to bring this Unchained to you all.
Yes, we are currently sat atop this radio tower. You'd be surprised there's no sound of wind or anything like that. But
We've got super mics.
yes, super mics with noise cancelling nonsense. I suppose then, really, we should just kick off with what were the best things you felt that were there at E3 this year. So go on, Ben, tell us what was best.
Well, if I tell you what's best, obviously there's nothing else to be talked about because...
Well, your best, obviously. It's a subjective thing.
What should we call it? I think the Uncharted 4 was probably one of my best at the show.
Yeah, it was a good demo.
No, I did find it funny that the controller died at the start.
Yeah, apparently they didn't hand him the controller.
Wow.
Which is like...
What else? Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That was my best of ever shows that will not be beaten.
I just remember when we were there watching it, saying, it's like everyone else going, "Oh, it's happening!" I'm like, "Yo, come on, let's not go over the top, just in case they're doing it again." But no, look, it's that bit, and that bit, and that bit, and it's like, it's like hearing a bunch of school kids just going crazy about something. Just
school kids. It was just me.
Yeah, no, it is true. Shut up! Don't let the dream die. And then me and Mike were like that later for another game. So.
And the other game as well, I think as well. But to be fair to other, that's no, there was nothing at Nintendo's all. Mass Effect 4. There we go. That's a different
That's what
company.
for? Yeah.
I'm just so Sony doesn't get all the best of E3s, even though they deserve all the best of E3s.
Yeah, I found the Mass Effect thing a bit disappointing in terms of what they showed.
Oh, I was disappointed, but still, I can think
Nice.
of another
I like,
game at the
yeah,
time.
and I like the choice of music. You know, having a
Yeah.
bit of Johnny Cash in there was really cool, and it sort of threw you off what it would be. And I think Jim Sterling said it this week. He was dead set that it was going to be Dead Space 4 from the way they showed everything at the beginning. And he was utterly disappointed in one way, just like that. So yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? Overall, I think that's the common theme throughout it. Personally, I'm going to say Shenmue 3. Just, yeah, me and Mike were sat there sort of fist pumping at nearly 4 a.m. And it was just a fantastic moment to have. But other than that, I was quite taken with The Last Guardian demo. Just opening with it like that, it was nice, confident. Just the little animation touches that they've added clearly since that time. It just, I still want to play that game so much, and that really, really helped. And the only other thing I've seen of it, E3, that really got me, I think, was probably Phantom Pain. Just the trailer was so well executed and just had so many little hidden meanings and stuff. And then they've had that 40-minute gameplay demo that's come out since from E3. It's just, it's got me so excited for September and for that game. It's just going to be something absolutely awesome, I think. And games, they're everywhere. And they're lovely at this time of year. See, I'm losing myself in a giddy schoolboy glee again. But hey, you know. Well, I think we should probably see what other people from PSU thought, because a couple of people who could not be here tonight, again, they aren't dead, they're just unavailable. Gary Bagdasarov, who was one of our guys, who said his top 3 E3 stories were the Final Fantasy VII Remake, as you said, Shenmue 3, as I said, and he found the Xbox One backwards compatibility thing a major thing, which we'll talk about later. But and I think our other person was good old Kevin Rombo, who has done some wonderful things for us, if I can find them. So many things. I've got like 20 tabs open at the minute, I think. Just all these things I've got to find at the minute. Yes, anyway, so Kevin's favourite things, though he liked to state that he doesn't like the term favourite things, he just goes from whether it appeals or not. He was pleasantly surprised with For Honor by Ubisoft, which, to be fair, did look good. Did you get on with that at all? Then?
What's that, sorry? His favourite things?
Yes. Did you like the look of For Honor on the Ubisoft conference?
For Honor, I don't even remember that game.
Oh, like that medieval thing where it was Vikings versus medieval knights and
yeah,
samurai.
that thing with the...
And the guy came out with the walking cane afterwards and the rings on his fingers.
Him,
he should be
the
in the
boss.
game,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was amazing. I don't remember anything about the game, but I do remember him. Yeah.
Kevin's other ones were South Park game.
Oh yeah.
I liked the trailer for that. That was definitely the funniest trailer of the weekend of the week.
The fractured butthole.
The fractured butthole. Yeah, still giggling at that at this point. And he also said Rainbow Six Siege caught his eye, which it looks good, but I don't. Yeah, I went off Rainbow Six a long time ago, I think, with that one. He also was interested in Anno 2205, which I don't know much about.
I don't know much about that.
Knights of the Fallen Empire, which is the old Star Wars: The Old Republic, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and Star Wars Battlefront. Though he's concerned about Battlefront being Battlefield 4 with a Star Wars kid on, which to a degree you can see it, but with this year's gameplay demo, he looked a little less like just Star Wars with Battlefront in the background to me. It's like the sound effects sort of made that demo nice The only time it took it at me out of the moment was probably when, Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker faces off against Darth Vader on the planet Hoth, which clearly didn't happen, and it was that's finicky and silly, but yeah, sort of threw me out of the demo a bit and ruined the immersion.
But the NES game was so realistic, though. Remember that time Darth Vader turns into a scorpion?
Back in the day when they just make games that weren't anything to do with it, and then just go, oh, we need a game for a license. Here, have this one. It's like, but it's got a guy who turns into a scorpion. Doesn't matter.
I would love to see. I know it's weird, but I'd love to see that as a reference in a game.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Just suddenly it's like strike him down, and he turns into a scorpion. So...
Strike me down, and I will sting you. Yeah.
I will sting you. Yeah, greater force than normal scorpions do. Yeah. I'll be ruddy cross about it too. Yeah, any other big moments sort of stick out for you from E3?
Oh, I would have liked, well, not big moment, but I would have loved to see more about Morpheus, but I didn't get enough.
Yeah, I wonder if they sort of waited on that one because there's so much they want to show later when they're closer to release.
Yeah.
So they can just sort of give you the whole package.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that was said this week, I think, was that it was hinted that No Man's Sky would have got a release date, but for a last-minute intervention, which could possibly be because Sony have drafted it in to be on Morpheus.
Ooh, Morpheus. Ooh.
Yeah, that would be a good use of Morpheus.
That'd be an amazing use.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'd hate to think that the game would be delayed a few months just for that, though, because I kind of want to play it this year. But along with every other game that's out this year.
But it's a perfect game for Morpheus.
It is. It's just you lose yourself in there. You really would, I think, and just adds another layer of intrigue to this game. We still don't know huge amounts about.
I'd love to play Metal Gear and got Morpheus as well. But
I think for me, first-person games are going to be the ones that work better because just it puts you in the experience more. It's like a third person would feel like you're in a set in a way, which is cool.
I meant Metal Gear in a first person anyway.
Oh yeah, okay, that would work. But No Man's Sky was probably another one of those games this year that I was already hyped for it anyway. I will rave about it to anyone that will listen. But it was nice to see it this year and see a little bit more about what would be going on, and just the potential's still there, but it's the fact that there's still not that release date, and there's just still so many questions, which I think they've had to do because it's that sort of a game where they want you to figure it out to a degree and learn yourself and explore everything and find and figure it. But so it would be great to see when the time comes, which unfortunately is now looking more likely to be next year.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, there were loads of things this year at E3 that were absolutely amazing, but I think we should probably move on to the other side.
The worst.
The bad things, which mercifully this year weren't so prevalent, but there were some.
There were some stinkers.
I mean, our two friends who aren't here today pretty much came up with the same negative point, which was Nintendo. But
Nintendo. Why did you carry on? Actually.
I was going to start with what Gary said, which is the rant he wanted to have all week about the Metroid game. I know we're a PlayStation podcast and everything, but it's worth mentioning, I think, this one. As he puts it, the worst thing at E3 would be Nintendo coming there and taking their pants off, squatting down and taking a dump on the Metroid franchise. He said, yes, I am talking about that atrocity that is Metroid Prime Federation Force, a 4-player co-op game that has nothing to do with Metroid, but apparently wants to use the name. He's never seen a petition with almost 10,000 signatures to get a game cancelled. No, I honestly haven't. It's like, though, you can get the sentiment of it, but probably not the best thing to do about it. It's not going to change anything. They're not going to go, oh, well, all right, we won't do it, and now we'll straight away go making a proper Metroid Prime. It's like they'll just stop doing it as normal. No, it was a silly move, though, all the same. What about you? What were the worst moments for you? Possibly not Nintendo.
Well, Nintendo's obviously there.
Yeah.
Microsoft HoloLens was kind of weird.
Yeah, to me, that existing problem that Kinect had, which is not everyone lives in a loft apartment, so they're not going to have this huge expanse of room to do this stuff in. I don't really see it working the same way.
Also, it doesn't work like it shows to.
No.
Everyone reports that the field of view is really bad.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you're actually using it, you can't actually see much. You don't see as much as we did in that camera.
No, and this is it. And it's just like... because the way it controlled you, we're looking at it thinking, well, that's not how the game normally controls, and you look like you've got a lot more limited options of what you're doing. And I mean, you'd have more control on the phone version of Minecraft, I think, than you did on that one. It's a great idea, but I think maybe we're not quite ready for it yet. So I just think it's Microsoft wanting to do something a little differently while still having the VR stuff there, so they can go, well, we do that and we do this.
Also, it felt like cheat mode, because the whole point of Minecraft is to look and find resources.
Yeah, it was more like it just used the creation side of it.
Yeah.
I'd want to know if they were doing the actual story stuff in there.
Well,
story with air quotes on it, but
Minecraft story.
That Minecraft story that's so compelling that Telltale are going to make a whole game about it.
It's going to be the best game ever. It's going to be like, and then I crafted a block. I had a bit of a cry, and then I found some gold. The end.
The end. I found a dragon. I slain it. It's fine.
Then a dog died. Sad face.
I went back to making my house. End.
What? And then my house flooded. What a twist.
Yeah. Oh dear. It's terrible. I don't know, for me, I didn't really see a lot that I would class as worse. I'm not really that bothered about the Xbox stuff and Nintendo stuff as much. So it's not so bad. Slight niggle with the Sony conference was that not really that many release dates for the stuff they were showing, or even a vague idea beyond 2016. It was just, it's still, everything's in the pipeline, and that's a little troubling at the minute. I mean, but then again, I mean, it was pointed out this week about, Microsoft's got all these great exclusives coming out at the end of this year. It's like, but yes, this is pretty much the first time Microsoft have more exclusives coming out in a time period than a Sony for about, 5 years? And it doesn't really mean much. It just means that Sony's are at a different time point. That said, it's still disappointing that we're having to wait for a lot of the big games. But then, you know what? I turned around and I thought, well, despite not having all these exclusive games out, we still have, stuff like Batman coming out, Metal Gear, Fallout 4. Alone, those games are huge sounding, and they're going to take up a lot of the time on their own. That's before you get into your usual yearly stuff like your Assassin's Creeds and that. And it's going to be a better year than last year. We know that already. And there's plenty to get your teeth into. And you look at 2016, you think, well, Sony will have potentially Last Guardian and No Man's Sky, among other stuff, and it's, again, they're pacing it a bit slower, perhaps, with their exclusives because they're a bit riskier. What do you reckon?
I agree. Plus, as you said, there's so many exclusives. There's so many games coming out this year that there's no point competing against something that means you're not going to have enough sales. No,
and just again off the top of my head, I thought there's Hitman in December. And it's like it's just every month now. For the rest of the year, there is something I want to play, and it's which is annoying because you know the time's starting to run out a bit more. But
well, this month's been ridiculous for me. It's like all the games I want are out this month, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like, well, the last couple of weeks I've had Elder Scrolls and Lego Jurassic World. I'll have Batman next week, and just like.
Who was reviewing that for us in the end? I know it's spoilers, but sweet.
Now, so yes, yeah. Oh, it's no spoilers. The reviews are out there. It's generally most people think it's really great, apart from GameSpot, who want to give them the token 7 out of 10.
Did IGN give it 10 out of 10?
They gave it 9.2.
Well,
apparently
IGN
not enough rain.
Not enough rain.
Can't remember which. Usually one of the two. But yes,
IGN.
Apparently the Batmobile sections are the thing that let it down.
I knew that'd happen.
Yeah, that's it.
Ever since they kept talking about the fact they'd have as much polygons in the Batmobile as the whole of Arkham Asylum, or whatever it was. It's like, yeah, go ahead, do that. Why?
Oh, I suppose I should point out that Kevin also had some ideas on what the worst things were, which one of these points, actually, now that I remember it, is actually a very good point. His major bugbear was EA wasting conference time by talking too much about their sports games, which do improve every year, but not worth the amount of time they waste on it. Same thing when they started with the "let's talk about mobile games" bit, which is very true. It just jarred me that they had mobile games in the middle of all this stuff they were pointing out. It was EA's conference was an up and down sort of thing for that. They had the whole thing with the guy doing Tangled, not Tangled, Unravel. What was it?
I was gonna say that was
whatevs.
That was Square Enix.
Yes. See, they all melded into one after the end of the week. But yeah, the guy looking so passionate about his game Unravel at the conference, and then just the whole Plants vs Zombie Garden Warfare thing straight after it was just like, what? It was a really bad shift. And yeah, that whole thing of Pele just talking for an eternity.
That was the greatest part of their conference.
Yeah, as I said, they should just get him on stage at every conference next year talking about, throwing out Werther's Original to the crowd and just saying,
that would be amazing.
Telling his old man stories.
Can't we just turn E3 into that? I just want that now. I just screw the video games.
Yeah.
Just want Pele on the stage talking about.
Do you want Pele? That guy with the cane and the rings from the Ubisoft conference.
Well, no, you can welcome Pele onto the stage, can't he?
Yeah, he can go welcome.
Yeah.
To the great world of Pele.
Yeah. And there'll just be 2 days of Pele talking.
Yeah.
There we go. We've sorted out E3 next year already. And it'll save them some money because they won't have to pay for all those celebrities.
Yeah, and then Aisha Tyler can come on every 5 minutes trying to talk, and the guy with the cane just go, "Shut up, Tyler."
Or she'll come on stage and try and flirt with Pele.
Using some disease. That was weird.
Yeah,
that whole chat up thing about the rickets.
Oh, you got rickets. Rickets.
I don't know. I used to think that I just didn't like her because she was the worst character in the last couple of seasons of Friends.
Well, she did ruin Friends.
Yeah, but then it's just sort of dawned on me that the writers and the main cast didn't really give a toss about Friends at that point, so that's probably what really did it. And she's funny in Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I forgive her a bit more this year. And I think she grew into the role a bit, apart from that weird aside. Yeah. And they're trying to get the meme going.
Yeah, that was a bit...
Oh,
she made
we forgot the other bit.
They made a meme, though, by trying to not... Well, they didn't try to make
a meme, yeah. Which, funnily enough, is Kevin's next point. Was having Jason Derulo come out on stage and do his little sing-song. Well, the approximation of a sing-song.
Yeah.
And pretty much ruin it for the rest of the world. But Just Dance 2016 up on that stage with the rest of Ubisoft's lineup was a bit disgusting, to be honest.
I still don't even know what happened in that.
He was supposed to be dancing to the actual game, but he just thought, "Now I'll do my own things."
Yeah.
And it was horrible. I was saying, there's been some musical performances like Usher a few years ago. But he was, godlike in comparison to this.
But it's like someone did. Yeah, remember Connect? Remember the fact that was all staged. It's like as if someone came on stage and thought, you know what, I'm supposed to be doing this, but you know what, I'll just go do this instead.
Yeah, it was very much like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought maybe when he danced, it would change the stuff at the back, or when he did the animations, the guy at the back would do the animations. But no,
it just didn't put anything across about the game at all, which pretty much just says it all about that game. I think now it's like it's going to be the same thing as last year. There you go.
I don't even think it's going to be that because
they almost lost in that was they had this whole thing about you can have this subscription service to all your things. It's like, oh, that's what the world needs, another subscription service.
Oh yeah, because that's what I need. I need to pay more money.
Thank you. One of these days, someone who's quite heavy on subscription services is just going to look at their bank account and go, my wages are all going on subscriptions.
I wouldn't be surprised if half mine would go to subscription.
Yeah, it's just, even when I try not to, I just end up with about a handful. Yeah. It's like, the only one that's well taken care of, funnily enough, is my PS Plus, which lasts till this time next year. So, but I still haven't had to pay for it for the past 2 years. So that's cool.
I've got like my Final Fantasy, my Netflix, my Crunchyroll, PS Plus. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's just that you've just got all these things and they just add up. It's like I've just had Now TV where I've had both the entertainment package and all that and the movie package because I wanted to watch Game of Thrones, and it just, when you look back at it afterwards, you think, you know what, I could have just had them on the telly and probably paid less. But I don't know, individually they don't sound so bad. Anyway, enough about subscriptions. It's a whole other game. That sort of thing. So, any other bad moments did we have? Or I think they were all of them, weren't they?
I think that was pretty much all of them.
Oh, my goodness. All the bad moments are gone. Which is terrible, really, isn't it? Yeah. So yes. Let's see, what should we do next? I suppose the main thing we'd like to do is talk about that whole big issue that came from Microsoft's conference, which was backwards compatibility. Now, going into this straight away, there was a quote from a certain person working at Microsoft a while back now, Don Matrick, if we're going to name names. And thanks to Tyler C23 on psg.com for bringing this quote to my attention again, is that he said back in 2013, only 5% of customers play older games on a new video game system anyway, so spending time and money to develop technology to allow them to play older games isn't worth it. Strange then that we get to 2015 and, whoa, look at that, they've done it. It's mad, really. It was, well, you know why they've done it, clearly. It was because they're so far behind in sales and they needed something sort of that Sony couldn't do. And here we are, we have it. So before I get on to other people's comments, I will ask you your opinion, Mr. Ben.
I really don't see the point. I don't play my PS3 games anymore. I doubt I'd play my if I had an Xbox One, I doubt I'd play my Xbox games. Now that I've got this next generation and I have so many games for it now, and there's so many games coming out that I want for it, it's very unlikely that I'll be playing many of the old games. Sure, occasionally I might, but really, as overall, no.
I think most of the people that say they want it are the sort of people that don't believe indie games are games, and that think any game that comes out on both consoles doesn't count. And which is silly, really, because I will see stuff like Destiny and that as being, and Ground Zeroes as being PS4 games, because that's why I played them on. I was like, why wouldn't you want to play the best version of the game that you can? It just makes sense, but
I agree.
It's not necessary, really. I think at this point, when we've just had a whole list of games out of, this is what's coming, and I don't know, to me it contradicted all that Microsoft had just put up beforehand, saying this is all our new games, this is all stuff we're going to have on Xbox One. And then they turn around and go, but in case you think, well, that's a bag of shite, you can play all your old games too. Well, not all your old games, just a handful of old games. Not even sure they'll work that well. But hey, it's something. Which, yeah, from what I've heard about the backwards compatibility of the 360 in the early days, it's they weren't particularly good at it last time. So I wouldn't hold out too much hope on it being this all singing, all dancing thing that goes great. It was a hit in certain ways, and certain people seem to have jumped on it as, wow, it's the game changer. But obviously I put the question out to many people, both on Facebook and on the website, about it. And yeah, most of the people seem to think, don't see the point, don't really do it. So I'll read a few, as I said I would. We got a good old nearly 40 comments on Facebook from it, so that was good. So, a few different views. We'll go through them. John Campbell on the Facebook page says, backwards compatibility should not be a feature or a gimmick. It should be a prerequisite for new consoles to at least have compatibility with the last generation of consoles. It makes it easier for people who would need to sell their old console for the next generation. And backwards compatibility on launch means that the console can be used more during the first few months due to a lack of good games or games in general, or the cost of buying brand new games. Now, I kind of get that in the sense of when I first bought the PS3, which was not long after launch, I still had a few games I wanted to play, and it was easier to just put them in the PS3 and play them on there. So I played stuff like Shadow of the Colossus and Tomb Raider Anniversary on there in the early months, while we were still a bit lackluster on what we had, and that was a terrible time. People moan about what's on PS4 in the first year or two, but PS3 was dog awful. So that was one of the comments. Good. Someone else said, my thought, which is John Williford, said, my thought is that Microsoft still isn't for the gamers. Why the Xbox is confused? Why everyone not in the gaming community is the original Xbox? Strange one. Both are Intel-based hardware with Windows. So why is MS not giving the Xbox One backwards compatibility since the beginning? And he still thinks after that it's something to do with money, which of course it is. They want more of it. It's an easy way to sort of appease certain people who ask for the thing. I suppose sales will be the thing that come into it, don't you reckon, Ben? That we see in the next year how the sales are going. We'll see how much people really did want that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect it as much as Microsoft thinks it will.
No, I mean...
They seem to think it's some sort of sales god egg thing. They won't go, oh my god, I can do it now. I can do it. I can buy myself an Xbox One.
See, if it was me in this position, I would be thinking, well, the only thing I really want to play on consoles that I can't play on current gen is XCOM. But I can play that on PC, so I don't care. And that's true of a lot of Microsoft's library, that you can play it on PC straight away. So again, you've taken it out again. They're not exactly going to demand much of a pretty decent PC at this point.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen the number quoted as 5% of Xbox 360 people would be enough to make it a worthwhile thing, but most of those people have moved to PS4 as well, and you've missed most of them, so it's going to be a very small number, personally, I think. But
also, I don't expect a lot of big games to support it, because any game that's big enough will want a HD remaster, and you can't remaster a game if it's been you can only play the old version anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of people won't buy it because, well, what's the point? I can play it on my original, or on my or download it or whatever.
Yeah. There's another point to it, of course, which is what would PlayStation do? What could they do if they were able to do it? We know obviously they can't just straight up do the same thing as Microsoft because
it's harder.
The PS3 was a nightmare to code for. We know that, and that's going to remain the same. It's amazing that they got The Last of Us remastered as soon as they did, because it should not have been that easy.
No.
But Yes, Jeremy Perrow on the website said, "We don't need it, but most of us don't want it. But with PS Now, it should be as easy as an app on the PS4.
Yeah.
If Sony is savvy, they'll allow free play for the PS2 and even PS1 back catalog, as well as free play for all digital titles that you have bought through PS3 for PS Plus members." Which I tend to agree with. You're going to do it.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
That would be Sony's best bet. You say, "Hey, have you bought a game digitally for us? There you go. You can have it."
They could even make a jab at Microsoft. They could go, "Oh, you can play this game free. Yeah, if you've purchased it before. Oh, by the way, you're not limited to your PS4. You can play it on your Vita, your laptop, your TV, your Blu-ray player, your phone.
You can play it on anyone's TV.
Yeah, you can play it anywhere.
You don't even have to take your console at this point. Someone else has got a Samsung TV in another country. You can just go there and go, there you go, I can play it.
Yeah.
Take a pad. Done. Problem is, of course, internet makes it a bit more difficult for most of the population, and that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
And the current structure they have for PS Now is terrible, to be fair. But
I've not had any issue with it.
No, what it is fine. It's the pricing is terrible. It's not really.
We've got the subscription service, which isn't too bad, I guess.
But I think they need to market it a bit more aggressively.
Oh yeah, easily.
If you need something like akin to a $9.99 all you can eat sort of buffet stuff. But if they're not going to do that,
they already have that sort of thing already.
Yeah, it is similar, isn't it? But I think it's a bit more, isn't it?
No, I think it's about $18 in it or something like that.
Yeah, and so, but again, here we don't really know, and we end up getting somewhere along the same sort of pricing, sadly, as America with stuff. So that's the worry. I think people think we're going to be paying nearly £20 for not every game you could possibly play. But so it's something that will work in time. I think once they've got more of the catalogue in there and internet gets better for people. And I think that this is where I think Sony are probably smarter. That they have got something there that can last console to console without the need for any extra tech. They'll have that service. They can put it into every console they ever make from now on. It's like that. It's something that could make the Vita relevant again, by having the ability to stream any game from anything.
At any time.
Yeah, it's like...
well...
I mean, it's nice that you can play PS1 stuff on there, and I still do.
Yeah.
But to be able to play more of the PS2 games than probably the handful that are just PSP ports would be amazing, at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a game changer. I mean, Sony have got a bigger catalogue there. And I know obviously some games are harder to do. That would for Microsoft as well, because licensing issues prevent a lot of games coming out. But long term, if Sony can do it right, then it will do them good. But the niggling factor is that they have a track record of not quite following things through to the final point.
Yeah, they seem to sort of go, "Oh, we're doing this," but then halfway through it, don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to agree with people that say it's a costly business to keep buying games and stuff like that.
Oh, I agree.
You want to sell your stuff, and you might want to sell your old games, and backwards compatibility helps. But if you're selling your games, you don't want them that much in the first place. It's simple as that. Let's see if I can find another couple of comments here, because there's just so many to go through here. Good point here made by Gordon Ryan on the Facebook page. You remember a game being awesome, then you play it and realise some memories are better off staying as memories. So backwards compatibility is a waste of time, in his opinion. If you wanted to play PS3 games, why would I expect my PS4 to do this? I don't think my DVD player should play VHS or my MP3 player play music cassettes. I think I saw someone else point out that it might have been a bit overblown and over the top way of putting it, but it's like people saying, "Oh well, I want what happens when my console breaks? So then my library's lost to me like that." So why should I not have that on a new console? It's like, well, you've got to buy a new car.
Yeah.
You don't get to just keep the same car forever, or the same television, or the same washing machine. Stuff breaks and dies down after time. That's like.
I must admit, the excitement is getting new stuff. I'm sorry, but getting new stuff is exciting.
And that's it. I think because the way gaming has changed in the last few years, and you have not just a AAA market that's a bit more cautious with what they do because big money's at stake, so you have less of those. You don't really have that middle ground of games that not quite AAA, not quite indie. That stuff like Binary Domain and, like I mentioned before, that's in the middle sort of games that you got a lot in the PS2 era. Those cult classics titles that everyone says, "Oh, I remember that title. It was really cool, and this title was really cool." That just wouldn't happen anymore because there's no level that works for that, apart from possibly using Kickstarter to make a project work.
Yeah.
But and at the other end, then I think it's mainly casual gamers or those that only see like everything having to be grand and lovely looking and all snazzy. They look at indie games and just think, oh no, well, they're not real games, they don't count. Remasters don't count. But again, there's a market there because especially this generation where so many have come across from Xbox and there's stuff that they might not play, like The Last of Us and the Uncharted collection. They make sense. And it's difficult. And I think we live in an internet age where obviously people are always able to complain wherever they can about anything and everything. It's like you get everything from people who are that elitist about their gaming that they won't play a game if its frame rate doesn't run to the exact specifications. It's I could go on forever about this entire subject. It's so terrible. I mean, it's nice if you can still play your old games on the same console. It's like it's just, but at the same time with this, I was going back to the streaming thing where people moan about, well, you wouldn't be owning the games that you're playing. Like, well, yeah, but same with Netflix. But does anyone care?
Well, has anyone ever actually read the EULA for any game ever since the 90s? You don't own the games anyway.
No, exactly.
They could technically come into your house, take your games away, and they'd have nothing. I don't think there'd be anything against it.
Yeah, and that's before the age of proper internet.
Yeah.
They've been, all the games that people call classics before they all got silly about having, DLC and all this nonsense like that. Even those games have that same disclaimer. It's just a little bit of perspective, I think, sometimes that people lack when they just think that everything's very black and white. And there's, like Sony having, it's like, oh, well, if Xbox can do this, Sony can do this. And it's like, well, if you knew better, then you'd realise that it's a problem that goes beyond just people going, no, we don't want to do it. It's a technological problem. I think we'll leave on that, apart from Kevin and Gary's opinions on a thing. Gary says, it's quite simple, it's great to have, but not really needed. Everyone I know who has ever asked for it hardly ever used it in the past. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same outcome here. It's just like Sony said, it's a highly requested feature, but it's not so greatly used. I used to be one of those people who wanted backwards compatibility, but then found out I never used it. So in my opinion, it's a great feature to have, but not a necessary one. I'm buying a new console for new games, not old games. Very true, Gary. Well done. Extra points for Gary this week. And I will skip it. And Kevin says, I was surprised by the announcement of Microsoft's choice to add this to their Xbox One console. I'm having doubts whether or not it's actually necessary function or not, especially for PS4 users who can already play some of the best PS4 titles through remastered versions, and there's more incoming, such as Heavy Rain. I think you meant to say PS3 titles. Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Uncharted, and more for those who do want to jump on those PS3 games. There'll also be PS Now, which in terms can end up cheaper compared to buying a PS3 and buying each game separately. Which, even if it does end up being £18-20 a month, it would work out cheaper in the long run to sort of play that way. Again, comes back into the internet. He continues by saying, personally, I wouldn't see much use of it as I still have my PS3 and I'm not getting rid of it. And even if it'd be here and my PS3 wouldn't be connected, I'd probably barely use it anyway. It's a fun addition at first, but you get used to it soon anyways, meaning you wouldn't really use it as often as you thought you would. Very true. So I think that brings a nice wrap up to that proceedings. You can see the for and against for it, but it's nice. Game changing? No. I think it's... People accused a lot of Sony's conference being very gimmicky in the sense of just throwing out the fanboy's dream of having stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Shenmue 3 and not really doing much themselves, but you could argue the same of Microsoft by leading with all the franchises they have in their catalogue, really, and then saying, oh, but we'll let you play your old stuff too, because quite frankly, we can't think what we got beyond the next 6 months. So,
I want to say though? I want to see what happens in the future. I know this is... I don't know how much we're supposed to we're allowed to talk about stuff like this, but because the PS4 and Xbox One are so similar, yeah, with the hardware, they're pretty much the same console, aren't they? Really, just the PS4 is slightly better GPU.
After Microsoft moved, did their backpedaling, it did become more like two blocks, pretty much the same.
You know what I can't wait to see? Is the day someone hacks the Xbox One, not hacks as in hacks online like people think they think, but modifies their console and gets the program that lets the emulator run the Xbox 360 games. Because as the hardware is basically the same on PS4 and Xbox One, it wouldn't be too hard to have the software working on the PS4.
Yeah. I mean, this is again, and vice versa. You could say it's like also with PC software, because it's very PC-based infrastructure. Yeah, that would be interesting to see in the future, and these things do seem to inevitably happen.
So you could see if there's ever a way to install custom files onto the PS4, we might eventually see.
Which is starting to become more of a workaround because, as it was announced this week, during E3, quite quietly, really, it was that the media player, the DLNA stuff, has started coming in. So, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
So we could. It'd be weird to see. What are you doing? I'm playing Halo. What are you playing on? My PS4.
What? You didn't know?
No, you didn't. You can't play the Halos. Can't play the Halos on your PS4. Oh, sad face.
It's funny because look, this is a PS4 pad. You see that? That's a PS4 over there, sitting there in my little bureau thing.
Yeah.
I don't even like Halo. I'm just playing it.
I don't know why. You. Yeah. Just why not?
I'm probably gonna burn it in a second. Yeah. Just for the lols.
Just for shits and giggles. You want to play it? Oh, sad face.
Sad face.
Sad face. Friend? Xbox friend?
Xbox friend.
Nah, it could happen. I doubt it. I really doubt it. Though
but I don't know. We're going further into the future, and stuff just happens like it does, and you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Though if it does happen, I called it. If it doesn't happen, then people are just lazy.
Yeah, so you don't have the ambition, hackers.
Yeah.
If you can't,
just don't hack me.
Yeah, no. Make this happen. We'll make you famous. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because we'll be like the prophets that sort of said it here and told your story. And for once, you won't get called horrible names by the gaming public.
Yeah, we could. Well,
only half the gaming public.
Only some of the gaming public.
Yeah. Not half that matters.
The uncool.
I have one other subject to bring up, I think. Did I? Let's see. There's so many things to bring up. See,
there's so many words we can say.
There is. This is why I wanted to keep it short on what there was, because there's just a ridiculous amount. Like that. Gonna find that. I know this is probably not going to interest a lot of people as the story goes, and it came out after E3. But as we're both fans of Life is Strange,
oh yes,
and the developers don't nod. Did you see the little teaser of their concept work for their RPG game coming up?
No.
Ah, well, they've got a vampire-based RPG coming out.
It should be based on Bloodlines.
But basically, you'll be able to. You can feed on anyone in the game, is what they're saying, and anyone you feed on will have consequences in the world and stuff like that. It sounds very ambitious for the studio.
Sounds like Bloodlines.
Does a bit. It's cool. I mean, it's like a full-on RPG.
That'd be amazing.
I just felt it deserved a bit of promoting because there was a lot of things out this week that were interesting and amazing and wow and stuff like that. But this game afterwards, I was just like, that actually sounds like a really cool thing. And I've said that about every single thing they've done so far, don't nod. You look at the concept they come up with for their games and you're like, yeah, that's a cool concept. They write a good concept and they do good games. Did you, Ben, have anything you would like to bring up?
About E3, not really. I think not really, to be honest. There's
anything you were hoping you'd see at E3 that didn't turn up?
No, everything was there that was wanted. In fact, there was more than I expected to be there. So
yeah, it really was quite packed with announcements and stuff that. And the stuff that we didn't expect and some good new games. I mean, Horizon looked quite cool.
Oh yeah.
By the Killzone guys, Guerrilla Games. Like that was one of the little highlights that was out there as well. But just so many things this month that have been fantastic.
That was really good.
It was a very good E3, and I'm glad it's happened. And we can all get back to the pot stirring from next week, I'm sure, about why this is rubbish, that's rubbish. Hell, it's happening already. The amount of articles out there that say, I hope the Final Fantasy remake does this or doesn't do that, or Shenmue 3 is just going to be rubbish because they're not spending enough money on it. So it's sad in a way because you have your little hype about the game. You're like, I'm really pumped about this, and then within a couple of days, someone's written an article going, yeah, but it could all go wrong.
I know, just ridiculous. There's some articles about Sony's conference saying the fact that it'd be rubbish.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I'll say this, going after that and the reaction that Microsoft's got, I thought, it's going to take a lot for Sony to really, kick this out of the park. Once they opened with The Last Guardian, I thought, if they were opening with that, they've got something else up their sleeve straight away, because that's a strong open. It's like, to show it off, and you could be negative and go, they didn't really show that much. It was only a small area, and it's like, but they're showing it running on a PS4. That's what matters.
They're showing it's playable.
Yeah, and as you'll see on PSU.com, there's a preview by the guys that went over there that saw the extended version of that, and they seemed quite impressed by it as well. So it's bookending it with Last Guardian, because I didn't think I'd be as excited about it as I am.
Yeah, I'm just really hyped for it. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really know why, apart from the fact that it just has something Ghibli-esque about it. Studio Ghibli. It's something about it like that, about the way the interaction between the boy and the creature. It sort of feels cool.
I'm just not looking forward to when he dies.
I don't think he will now, because that's the running joke, is that when someone said that on the internet, that's why they cancelled it and restarted.
Damn it, someone's already worked out the plot.
Okay, one other thing we'll go into before we go to the end bits.
That Recall as well, probably. Sorry, that Recall.
Yeah.
Recall.
Yeah. Recall was quite good, yeah.
I found it funny that I read, I think it was Jim Sterling's tweet, or it's a comment he made. I think it was on his E3 video.
Yeah.
Which you should watch because he's Jim Sterling. Yeah, Jim Sterling. He made a joke saying, all these games nowadays have the dog die. And, have all that emotion, all those emotions, and your dog dies. But now you can have a dog that dies, and then you can put the core into another dog, and have the dog die again. So you can go through all those emotions all over again.
Yeah, it was a really cool concept. So I did like it as the game goes.
So not only can you have it once, you can keep getting all them emotions.
Yeah, it was a little highlight of the Microsoft conference. I found it's just little things like that. It's like I wasn't so bothered as ever about the mainstream stuff. Rise of the Tomb Raider doesn't look all that special, to be honest.
Well, there's a new. I haven't watched it though. There's another trailer that came out that looks a lot better.
Yeah, and I don't doubt it.
Where it actually shows gameplay rather than just that pillar of ice.
Yeah, I mean, I, like most people, really enjoyed the reboot of the Tomb Raider series that came out a couple of years ago, and
it helped that it was open world, and this game seems very linear.
Yeah, it seems a bit more enclosed, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So yeah, it doesn't really sort of lend to the idea of exploration, especially when you look at the Uncharted 4 demo, which seemed to offer more branching paths and ways of going about things.
It's like the switched roles. Tomb Raider was always linear, but then tried, because it was limits at the time.
Yeah.
PS1 couldn't really do much.
No, this is it, but it tried to sort of scale out as time went on. And it seems like it's taking another backward step.
Yeah, well, Uncharted is scaling up, Tomb Raider's scaling down.
Yeah, it's weird. It's that sort of...
Just like her outfit.
Yeah, it's a strange sort of correlation between the two that happens. It's I have to say Uncharted 4 though. It's you want to sort of express how excited you are, and it's really hard because the expectation's so high.
Yeah.
But it's just everything was there that you love about Uncharted. The whole back and forth between Sully and Drake was still there, and you could see the difference in how they looked from the PS3 era. So just the animations were superb, and apart from their little snafu of the 2 times they've shown it off, they've had some sort of problem. And at least it wasn't falling through the scenery this time.
Yeah.
But it's
I kind of like it because it shows it's real.
Yeah, and that's what you want. But at the same time, I don't want to start feeling cynical that they're just doing it as their gimmick. That we're definitely showing it live because this happened.
Yeah.
It's like,
just give me the controller; it'll break it then.
Yeah, that'll definitely break it when you go on.
And now, Ben, we've got a special guest, Chili, to come on stage to play.
Everyone's like tweeting, "Oh damn!"
It seems Drake has no head now. Now Drake is flying.
Oh dear.
I thought that was a wall there. Why is he running through it?
I think we got time to have a little talk about what we've played in recent weeks, because we've not had that for a few weeks.
No, it's been a while.
So go on, Ben. Tell us, what have you played in the last few weeks?
Final Fantasy 14, pretty much, and Warframe.
Stop. I'm going to stop you there. Why? I've never heard you playing these games before.
You never heard... I always play Final Fantasy 14, I just don't play it that much.
Being sarcastic.
Okay.
Roll with it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This totally new game I've never played before. It's the newest game in my life. Suck it near.
Shocking. Never RPG type games at all.
Yeah, I've never played an RPG in my life. I don't know. What are these stats? What's the strength? How do I mine for fish?
Why, when I buff and I'm talking about using a cloth to make things look cleaner, does it not work in game?
Yeah. Anyway, the expansion pack came out on Friday.
Oh yes, Heaven's Ward.
The early access, shall we say, started Friday.
Yeah.
The game comes out next Tuesday.
I assume you are early access.
Yeah, I'm playing as we talk.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I am. The areas are massive. The storyline's really good. I don't want to talk too much because of spoilers. It's early access still. The enemies are really tough because it's all new areas with higher level enemies than you were actually in the original game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, ridiculously tough. Well, they're not tough. They just they're like sponges.
Yeah.
They have so much health. And I did one of the new primal fights. Basically, primals are like gods. Each beast tribe has a primal of their own, and then they can summon them if there's enough people with enough crystals and enough faith. And then when they're summoned, you beat them down because they're bad. They've added two new primals, Ravana and Bismarck.
Bismarck, that's a good name.
Bismarck, it's a giant whale, Bismarck.
Oh, that's even better. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's well named.
Ravana is a 4-armed giant insect warrior knight thing. Anyway, I've actually fought Ravana.
Cool.
You fight with 8 people.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. But there was a lot of swearing.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Because he pushes you back. He basically, if you're not near a wall, he'll push you off the map and it'll insta kill you.
Oh.
And he covers the room in like basically, if you know you're going to be hit because there's a blue line, and then an attack will happen, so you can dodge it. He pretty much covers the entire floor with blue lines. And then after that, he covers the entire floor with lava.
That sounds old school.
So you got to run round to the sides, then run into the middle, then run to the side, and then you got to make sure you're right near a wall because it'll knock you off. So all you can hear, because I was chatting with mates on the PS4 party chat.
Yeah.
And all they could hear was me going, swear word, swear word, swear word. Oh my god, swear word, swear. Oh my god, swear word. Oh my god, oh god.
I assume that's a very high level event then.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. It sounds terribly stressful.
Yeah, and this is only hard mode. Extreme mode is. Yeah.
There's difficulty modes in that as well.
Yeah, hard mode you don't get anything. It's just story based. So you can beat the story. And then extreme mode is like an optional version, which is like always a lot harder. I don't know what the extreme version is. This is because that's too high for me. But stuff like the extreme, let's say extreme Leviathan, you're fighting him on a ship normally.
Yeah.
And there's you got the 4 sides of the ship. Basically, Leviathan dives underwater and then makes the ship tilt.
All right.
So you got to run to the opposite side of where he's going to make it tilt. On hard mode, you got those 4 walls. On extreme mode, those walls have gone. So if you're not far enough to the other side, you just fall off and die.
Wow.
And you can't come back to life until the end of the match. So
that is properly extreme.
Yeah, extreme. 90s extreme. Titan extreme. He does he stomps on the floor, and then if you're in the stomping rate in the lines, you get knocked off instantly. Moogle extreme is a little bit different. There's loads of Moogles and the Moogle King.
You have to fight Moogles?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the Moogles have every class in the game as well. You got a Bard Moogle, a Black Mage Moogle, a Monk Moogle, a Warrior Moogle, blah blah blah.
That's cool.
They all do unique actions based on the job that the Moogle is. Like the White Mage will use Holy Moogle spell, and the Black Mage uses Palm Flare and stuff like that. Which one of my mates called Porn Flare because he read it wrong.
He did.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, you got to fight them in the hard version. You just got to kill them and then kill the king.
Yeah.
But the extreme version, if you kill one, it starts the timer off on the king.
Oh dear.
And after the timer kicks off, he insta kills the entire party. Yeah.
So it's like those high level moments you get in single player games, basically, where everyone's just like, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell.
Yeah. The only thing, what you got to do is, got to have the party. I know this will sound confusing for an online game. Work together. And
work together in an online game.
I know. It's why Moogle Extreme is like one of the things that people get stuck on. They can't beat because you got to work together. You fight Moogle until he's down to 10% health, and then switch to the next Moogle.
Yeah. And
then once all the Moogles are down to 10%, you then kill the mages first, and then go finish them off, and then go for the king, because you've got that way you're gonna get to the king before the timer gets to halfway.
Yeah, tactically that makes sense, I suppose. So yeah.
But if someone takes the Moogles too low or kills the Moogle,
oh dear, yeah, it goes into Brown Town.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we're because our gear is a lot better than when the Extremes came out. That's why they're a lot easier than they used to be.
Yeah.
So you can accidentally kill the Moogles by being too overpowered.
That's cool though. It does sound like a good expansion then.
Yeah, well that was old stuff. The expansion. Yeah.
Alright, it sounds like a good game in general.
Yeah, it's a good game. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been playing, and you should expect my review sometime after June 30th, because for some reason that's when the embargo is.
Of course, makes sense, I suppose. Give people time to play it, and
well, the raids and stuff like that don't get added until in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, right. So yeah, it's gonna be at that point.
I'm not looking forward to the raids. Alexander, don't know. Have you ever played Final Fantasy games?
Yeah, generally ones. The single player ones.
Heard of Alexander?
The name rings a bell.
The giant castle.
Again, it's like Leviathan rang a bell. As well. So
it's the holy summon normally. It's normally.
Oh right, yeah, I think I know that one. Okay.
Yeah, we fight inside that.
Really?
That's the raid.
Sweet. So does it sort of echo a lot of Final Fantasy places?
Oh yeah.
Beats,
North Fanaland reminds me of Midgar areas in 7.
Oh, that's really nice.
The veteran reward for playing 2 years is in fact Cloud's outfit.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's a lot of references the Crystal Tower from Final Fantasy IV, I think it is in this game.
Oh, that's amazing.
Including all the enemies, including all the boss fights from that game.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of a celebration sort of game.
Yeah, I do. They even had Lightning event at one point, where Lightning joined the game.
Well, who cares about that?
I know.
Who isn't Dane?
But
Dane's opinion should not be trusted, because Dane thinks that Operation Raccoon City is good.
I know. I can't believe it. Can't believe he thinks that's a good game. Bad Dane. It's still not Haze though.
Yeah.
Still not Haze.
But I always have to mention it now. Every podcast that Dane likes Operation Raccoon City, because it's wrong to like Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah. I agree.
And that was your public service announcement for this week's podcast, to say that Operation Raccoon City, shit.
Yeah. And I bought it as well, so.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why. I really don't to this day.
Yeah. No, I don't think did I buy that? I can't remember. I don't think. No, I think I can't. I think
you played it.
I played it. That's for certain.
Yeah, that much you know.
Yeah, no, that's for certain, because I tried. I tried it, and then I also bought Resident Evil 6. I think it was because. It wasn't. It was Operation City, where it said it has so many player. Yeah,
and the co-op and the.
But so much co-op though. It was supposed to be 6 player co-op.
But it was rubbish. It was just.
Yeah. Then I found out it was only one mission, so we all bought the game excited for no reason. Oh my god, co-op! Oh, okay.
It was like a haunted house, a really, really crap haunted house ride, where you have a bloke sitting with you in the train going, "Look, there's that thing that was in that bit in Resident Evil 2. Look, there's another bit that was in Resident Evil 2. Yeah, that one was in Resident Evil 3. Oh, amazing!" Like that.
Sounds like no wonder they liked it.
That was it. It was just like them saying this happened in this game, that happened in that game. That's it. That was all it was. It was, but you're not going to do what happened in that game, which was far more exciting, and it looked worse than this. So, hats off to us.
Yeah.
Like that. But yeah, Resi 6 I haven't touched still, so I'm maintaining that until they make another good one.
So never.
When 7 turns out to be a dancing game or something,
that'd be better than. Imagine it. That'd be amazing. I want that. I want a Resident Evil dancing game.
If it works for Persona, then why not?
Resident Evil moaning all night.
Yeah. Actually, Konami should be implementing that with their back catalogue. They've got Dance Revolution.
Solid Snake versus Mega Man.
Silent Hill. Just like you just do slow
Oh no,
movie dances.
Mega Man's Capcom, isn't it? So
Yeah.
at least someone needs to use the license, though.
Without being kickstarted, yeah. Yeah, you can imagine Silent Hill on the Dance Revolution just doing really slow, mopey dancing. Things like that.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, such fun.
And then Konami, you can have like Yu-Gi-Oh characters dancing as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be amazing. Make it.
Make it, Konami. Actually, don't. You're doing enough wrong.
At least they'd be doing something.
You know what? No, personally, going back to E3 quickly, it's like two games that, personally, because it's obviously my personal taste, that I really loved at the show were The Phantom Pain and Pro Evo Soccer 2016. And it's like, they're two of my favourite games of the show, and that's pretty much all Konami brought. So it's like they still do it every year. They manage to bring like two of my favourite games.
I'm looking forward to the new Yu-Gi-Oh game, to be honest.
Oh yes, they thought so, don't they?
Because they said they'll go up to all the way to Arc V, which is the newest series. Don't ever watch Arc V. It's rubbish. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but it looks... I'll watch it eventually, but...
Yeah.
Oh no. Pink hippos. People running hippos to play car games. Why? I could barely understand motorbikes. Let alone pink hippos.
Yeah, that sounds like your usual anime fun sort of thing. So...
I didn't mind the last series. But anyway, this is not a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast.
No, it's not. Because I would be completely out of my depth and just nodding along for the entire podcast. So, so what else did you play this week? Other than that, was it just
Warframe.
Warframe.
Warframe. The event started this week for the Dera Vandal or the Karak Wraith. Based on whoever wins the event, one of the weapons will be released.
Cool.
But because Alan V, the guy who did the Karak Wraith one on PC, everyone on PS4 wants the other guy to win, even if the weapon's rubbish, just to annoy Digital Extremes, so they have to do two different storylines. Because PC has weapons and stuff like that we don't have, like Excalibur Prime.
Ah, right, okay.
That they said we'll never get on console. So we kind of want to get a weapon that PC won't get for a while by having us do the different storyline. Just to be annoying.
That's perfect. That is video game culture, straight down the middle there.
And it seems a lot of people are doing this because basically it's supposed to be every 11 hours that a new event starts. And every time it... but the first night, it was like, oh, he's won the event already in like 2 hours. Next event starts, 2 hours. Next event starts, 2 hours. The guy had a 4-0 lead on the first night. Yeah, it was supposed to be 11 hours each time.
Jeez.
Everyone's like, yeah, he needs to win. We're going to make sure of it. Because the last time something like this happened, we wanted the other guy to win. And Digital Extremes let the other guy win because they said it was too close to count. Now it's 4-0 right now. So, yeah, they can't exactly lie again because it's not exactly close to count. Last time
it really isn't at that point. It's a foregone conclusion, I would say.
Yeah, 4-0, and it was close to 5-0 last time I was on. So.
Yeah, that's a go-home sort of score, that one. So that ought to conclude your games, I would imagine, for this week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tilly, I also played an online multiplayer role-playing game. Would you believe? I can actually somewhat relate to this whole story, but not the same one, of course, as you. I played the very Western role-playing game, which is The Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh yeah, I played a bit of that as well. I should have said that.
Yes, yeah. So it's right, because we can talk about it now. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. I'm suffering from the usual curse of... Well, getting it when I did means that E3 turned up, so that's severely limited my time of actually going on it.
Yeah.
And the people I'm playing with, of course, have now on their second characters, while I'm still doodling about on level 10, going, oh, I'm in Morrowind, this is great. That's it. But that's fine by me. that's what I do. Just poodle around, listen to podcasts, and just play the game. That's what I wanted out of it. To be honest, it's I'm very, very raw in the world of MMOs as it is. And, the closest I've really come to doing it properly is either GTA Online or DC Universe. And I always felt it would be the franchise for me that being online I would get into, because I love the Elder Scrolls lore and everything about it. And it's from what I'd heard about it on its PC launch, it's definitely improved as a game overall, and there's lots of stuff to it, and it's just cool stuff to explore. And it's a game that seems to want to make you take your time about playing it. What did you think of it though so far?
I'm a little bit ahead of you. I'm level 22.
So, I love how it's like your second, third MMO really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and you're still ahead of me. So, it's literally one of 2 games I played in the last 2 weeks.
But it's only because my mate got the collector edition.
Yeah.
So we got married in the game using the collector edition.
Yeah. Me and my friends had this discussion.
Yeah.
Just about who's going to marry who, just to do that. It's like,
well,
which I said, I'm married already, so I can't participate in this heathen project.
You get 10% XP bonus.
Yeah.
So he's now a man in a wedding dress, and I'm a small fat lizard.
I'm currently playing as a dark elf. So.
I'm playing as I'm gonna butcher the name, the Agrafan or whatever it is.
Argonian.
I'm a small. I made him small, pale white. He's an albino. He's got a big ass belly.
Yeah, I'm very ashen-skinned, tall, pale with a big nose. So accurate in representing me, I would say.
Yeah, I thought mine would represent me quite well because I'm small, fat, very light-skinned.
But yeah, now it's like I was so hyped to get it, and I wanted to play it. It's like Batman's coming next week now, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have to sort of play Batman a lot, so in a short space of time. So yeah,
I was hyped. But with the Final Fantasy 14 expansion that came out, E3, and then
it was
next
timing really.
Next week is possibly Batman if I can afford it. If not, there's J-Stars versus Plus as well.
This is it. And then there's the other game that's sort of taken my week. But I've played it at a different pace because I'm doing it chapter by chapter with my son, which is Lego Jurassic World.
That is an amazing game.
It's just so fun. And it feels more like the slightly older Lego games, sort of Lego Batman 2 era.
Have you got to Jurassic Park 3 yet?
No, I'm still in Lost World because I can only play when he can play.
Because
he doesn't want me to go ahead of him.
Okay, a little bit of a spoiler, but not much of a spoiler. It's not a spoiler at all, really, but it's just a little bit of a warning.
I've seen it, so as a film. So
no, this is anything to do with story at all.
Oh, different kind of spoiler.
There's a bit after the landing pad.
Yeah.
Where you got to climb, you got to push over a tree, climb and jump on it and get across a river.
Yeah.
Make sure you turn off any red bricks if you've got any.
All right.
Because if you've got any red bricks on, you will literally just jump through the tree. You will not be able to cross that river ever.
Why does it not surprise me you found this?
Well, I always have the 2 times multiplier on.
Right, that's it.
So
I did see a couple of nice little secret things, that came up, like the in that cutscene where the ET in a bike thing comes past the moon and stuff like that. Just like I said, it feels more like the old Lego games.
Yeah.
And that they're putting the humour first and not so worried, because obviously the voice cast stuff is all recorded from years ago when the film came out, rather than going with new dialogue. And that's what I found with like Lego Batman 3 and Lego Marvel and the recent ones like that and The Hobbit, that they were just a bit too bloated as games. They're just trying to do too much. It just feels like they've scaled back a bit for Lego Jurassic World. They made it a more fun all-round experience. And, you get to be Lego dinosaurs. What can you do better than Lego dinosaurs? Seriously. because I thought superheroes would be but no, apparently not. Lego Dinosaurs is the way forward, and it's just so fun to see the reaction my son has.
Yeah,
it's the way we play it. The point, yes, he does have his little tantrum when we have to turn it off, but still, he's excited about it. So,
it's a good game though, so he's got
really
a good reason to.
He's super into his dinosaurs, and it's just the perfect timing.
Well, dinosaurs are cute, so it's understandable.
Yeah, I think, and he appreciates the humour. I think it's like there was a scene in the first Jurassic Park film that got in there that, where instead of eating the guy who's sat on the toilet, he just pings him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh no, he pings the raptor at the end. That's it. Sorry, the end scene. He just pulls his tail and boings him off into the distance, and he just started having a hearty laugh about that. He's not even 4 years old, and it's just funnier than anything to see that. He's just there going, he pinged him, like that. It's a lovely thing to have. It's probably made me enjoy the game more than I would have.
I'll admit though, it does seem easier than recent Lego games.
Yes, I mean it seems like the older ones.
Yeah.
Like that. I've recently I've taken to playing the Peter version because of the 3DS versions, because they're just simpler. They just do everything like they did.
Yeah.
Whereas stuff like Lego Batman, Marvel, like I said, just sort of went too far in open worlds and trying to get all this stuff done. And it's just like, no, I don't need it. Yeah. So it's a nice change of pace. I'm sure they'll ruin that change of pace when they get back to Avengers at the end of the year.
Well, Lego Jurassic Park is open world, by the way.
Yeah, but not the same sort of level. It's like Lord of the Rings and Batman, where there's open world, but it's not too big.
Yeah.
And not too full of
once
nonsense.
You've beaten each one, you can then explore it.
Yeah, so I mean, but you can see that it's not as bad to go through.
Oh no, not like freaking Batman.
Lego Batman 3, especially Marvel. So it's just the open world was just boring after a while. It just didn't feel fun.
Which for a Lego game is what it needs to be, fun.
Yeah, especially that's it. And this is a game featuring most of my favourite characters ever, and it just wasn't fun enough.
I'm still not going to defend Lego Dimensions though.
I like the concept, and it would just, I could probably end up selling the house trying to get the collectibles, but it's just like...
That's the thing, I can't push something that's so expensive. Yeah.
I mean, my only free Lego figures are, I got Spider-Man on my keyring, I got Luke Skywalker, and the electric suit Batman from Lego Batman 2.
That's pretty cool.
And that's it. But yeah, if I could, I'd be having every single damn one I wanted at this point. So it's like the Lego dinosaurs from Jurassic World now. I'm just like, I could do those. They'd be cool. So I just love the mix of franchises sometimes, what they do. And it's, so magical. It's literally been the only 2 games I've played in the last few weeks. It's ridiculous. It's mainly because of E3 taking up most of the time.
To be fair, they are all good games, so...
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last time I got 2 games that were new out that week in the same week. It's just... So it's good timing, really, isn't it? You know what, Ben? I think that wraps us up.
Oh, it feels like it's been too short.
It does,
and too structured.
Structured. It has and it hasn't. Yeah, we've had our little tangents, but not too bad. Yeah. So we've done well. Mike need not worry. Mike is on holiday, for anyone who doesn't know this week, which is probably the doom of this podcast. So let loose on yet another one.
Hopefully, maybe.
Yes. Ben, what would you like to do first? Would you like to do contact details or the other thing that you might have wanted to talk about?
Oh, I'd like to do the other thing quickly if that's possible.
By all means, go ahead.
Final Fantasy 14, as you heard earlier, is an MMO, and they're having a recruit a friend campaign. Basically, if you recruit a friend, you get prizes for both you and your friend. Anyway, I want to recruit 3 friends so I can get a prize. You'll get a prize as well, just I'll get the better prize.
Which is arguable.
You'll still get a good prize though. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And you'll get a free game because I will purchase free copies for PC, PS4, or PS3. Depends on what platform you want. I don't care what platform. Yeah. And you'll get a copy of the game free. So you'll save yourself £50. £50.
50 English monies.
Yeah, 50 English pounders. So yeah, if you want a chance to do this, I'll be announcing more soon because I can't afford it right now, of course. Probably in July time I'll talk about it more. So yeah, you'll get a chance to get some. You'll basically get some silver chocobo feathers, which you can trade in for gear. That will give you equipment to help you level up. You'll also get a necklace that will give you 25% bonus XP if you're under level 50. You'll also get a load of other stuff as well. You'll get a special mount that you can only get from this campaign. And I get all that stuff as well. And I get another special mount. And I get a Twin Tanya mount, which anyone who's new to the series won't know, but there was something called the Bahamut coils, where they were the hardest part of the previous content of the original game.
I know that reference.
And turn 5, there was a monster called Twin Tanya. Now, I'd say about 60% of the players got stuck because of how overpowered Twin Tanya was. It is a ridiculously hard fight. Even it took me like 200 attempts before I beat it.
Wow.
Anyway, they will now give you that boss fight monster as a mount where you can fly around the new areas.
Wow.
You can even do her attack dive bomb onto players for shits and giggles. It won't hurt them. It just does the animation of the dive bomb. But yeah, you can dive onto other players. So yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, I want that mount, and I want people to play the game. So it's a win-win
for everybody.
Yeah. So in July I'll be talking more about it. Also remember in July I'll be giving another away a game because I reached 500 friends on PSN. So I will be doing another giveaway where I give away something else. So this will be July.
So it will be a hot summer at PSU for giving stuff out. Is it?
Yeah, pretty much. If it wasn't the fact that I had just spent 130 quid on Final Fantasy 14, I'd do it now, but...
He's a dedicated man.
I want that mount. And I want people to be happy. Yes. So, this is not completely selfish.
Giving you everything so that he can get everything.
Yeah. Sounds like a movie poster. He gave everything.
It is.
So he could get everything. Sounds like some sort of romantic movie.
It's a selfish version of the Bible.
Yeah.
I died for your sins so I can get free top-ups for life at Subway.
I died for your sins so I can sin.
Yeah. Every night.
No, we just lost everyone because we just offended every religion at once, somehow.
That's all right. When we play to a 90% atheist viewership, so
how do we know that? I'm just not looking forward to the backlash.
Yeah. How do we know that? Tell you what, power of imagination. That's it.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I will give away a free gift. 4 free gifts if you think about it. 4 free gifts next month.
Madness. So you know what then?
Yeah, what?
People should know who you are more. People should know how to find you.
That's
a great way of following how this competition will go and have a chance of them winning.
Yes, competition. If you want to know who I am and how to stalk me or where I am, go to chili_UK on Twitter. ben.shilbehall@psu.com. I say that again because I think I said it wrong. ben.shilbehall@psu.com. Chili_Twitter, Chili on PSN, Chili on NeoGaf, Chili in your face.
Chili con carne.
Yeah. And so yeah, if you want all the things, contact me with all those things. I want to say another shout out to. I haven't replied to your email yet, by the way, mate. Sorry. But Thomas Gargan said that his package arrived. He was the one who previously won my previous competition.
Oh, fantastic.
And he asked me. He said a lot of things. So I'm going to say the email right here, right now. He played the game on. He's not going to play it because he played it on PS3. And he said, I thought Sony had a great conference. I love Uda's games, and I'm excited for The Last Guardian. I'm excited for Horizon, Shenmue 3, and especially Final Fantasy 7. The Taken King trailer was cool as well. I was also surprised to see Platinum is developing a near sequel with the original creators. I was a fan of the original. The podcast was great this week, of course. And I laughed when you said Capcom will remake it. But you forgot what game it was for. I can't remember anyway. But my delivery is perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. And then he asked about any other podcasts we listen to, which I will send you an email about that. So yeah,
yes. It's fine.
Yeah.
What podcasts we listen to?
Yeah, what podcasts we listen to?
Oh, I could recommend a few straight off the bat.
Go ahead.
You should listen to Regular Features, first of all. It's not entirely game-based, but it features people who have worked in the games industry or do still work in the games industry, like Matt Lees, who used to be at Video Gamer, Gav Murphy, who's now at IGN, John Blythe, who's done a whole bunch of stuff, and Stephen Hoggerty. And yeah, they just talk nonsense and filth every week, and it's majestic stuff. Also would suggest Video Gamer podcast, because again, those guys they're brilliant. They're so into their own characters that it makes for one of the funniest podcasts out there about gaming. And of course, Jim Sterling's Podquisition, which Jim Sterling's ace, Laura Kate Dale, also great stories about those little weird indie games she finds and strange tasting foods and drinks that people give her. And also Gav, who's from Miracle of Sound, who does music based on video games. That's absolutely awesome. Those guys definitely deserve a listen podcast-wise. And I'm sure I have one more that isn't us. So BitSocket. You should always listen to BitSocket, which is just two Scottish guys, Scott and Joe, who talk games, have their little segments, and it is just a really tight, well done little podcast. And you could just tell they're great friends, and they make it work so wonderfully. So yeah, they are my suggestions.
I pretty much suggest the same things, to be honest. I don't really listen to that many podcasts.
No, I don't. They're my video game ones, and the rest is really old stuff that I'm sure people would know it by now. So,
but I think I'll plug my own podcast as well.
Yeah.
Well, not my podcast. That's not mine. I want to plug 4GO as well. Not 4GO. Yeah, 4GO. Yeah, 4GO.
Yeah, that's what it's called now.
For some reason, I want to call it RDGH again, but no, it's 4GO. I've been on it so many times, I should know. Hell, I'm funding it.
Hell, I was in it once even.
Yeah, he was in it once.
One time.
In fact, we're recording it tonight, I think. After this. So yeah.
Which of course we'll have already recorded by the time.
Yeah, this is already recorded by the time that gets recorded. So. So 4GO, I'd recommend it. And of course, all the stuff that he just recommended, and I kind of like PewDiePie's podcast, but I don't listen to it much.
I didn't know he did a podcast.
Yeah, he does a podcast with what's his name now? Yeah, Pewdie does a podcast.
Oh, fantastic. That just reminds me as well, Darth Souls, which is Matt Leeds' podcast. He has most of the people I mentioned and the other ones on it as well, and they have some good discussions about all sorts of games.
Yeah. But yeah, I do recommend PewDiePie's as well. Kind of. It's not that great, but if you want to laugh.
Yeah,
if you're a fan of PewDiePie,
yes.
Seriously. Which I actually am, so don't hate me. Don't hate me, haters.
David haters gonna hate.
But I'll always admit he is one of those people that's you're either gonna like him or you're gonna dislike him.
Oh yeah, so I respect him for what he's done. That's about it.
Oh, I wish I could do what he's done.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, what a life.
Well, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
I guess when you think about it, the amount of work that goes into stuff he does, and actually.
Yeah. So it's like anything. So you get into your rhythm of doing these things, you just get.
Anyway, we're going completely off topic.
We are again, aren't we? I was going to do my detail things, but no one cares about that.
Yeah, we do. What's your details? How can we stalk you?
My details. I'll first give a shout out to everyone that commented this week on Facebook and on the website for the backwards compatibility article. It's great big response, pretty positive stuff. No, why are you being so silly and making this an article? But which is always nice to see with my work. So hats off to you guys. Some really great opinions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to them all today. But hopefully we'll do this every week. We'll ask a question and you can answer the question, and maybe you can have that answer.
Yeah, maybe you could be on the
Frost
podcast.
upon Unchained doors.
Yeah,
like an abandoned baby.
I shouldn't laugh, but
you should laugh. No, you make me laugh. But yes, if you would ever want to contact me after listening to this, it's neil.bolt@psu.com for the email. You can find me at Nezco, it's Nezzko. Yes, that's right. And on Twitter, or you can find me in the club. Oh no, that's not me. That's 50 Cent. You can find.
You might find you in the club as well.
You will not find me in the club these days. If you do, I'll be the guy in the corner going, "Oh, I used to hate this. Why am I here again?" And it's like, price drinks, kids today, that sort of thing. But no, the other place you'd probably find me is on PSN. It's Son of Venom, all lowercase, and I play some games. It's like not particularly well, not very social. So go nuts with that. So yeah, that wraps us up for this week. It's been fun hosting for the first time ever, possibly the last time. We'll see how that goes when the numbers drop off this week. But it's been great to have you with me, Ben, to do it.
No problem.
At least it makes it fun. That's the main thing.
Oh, it's been a good podcast. You've been a good host.
Oh, stop. See, now they will turn off now because I think we're just trying to force the issue on them. Like, no, we want Mike back. Get Mike back.
Hey, at least they won't be going, oh, get Chili. Get Chili. We want him on.
They'll be like, no, because he made this happen too. He was there. So, shame.
Nah. I'm sure they'll like your hosting.
I'm sure they will. And if they don't, I don't care. There you go. Right, so yes, we're done for this week. Join us next week when the E3 haze of wonderfulness is probably worn off and we're back to being cynical bastards about everything.
And Capcom will remake it.
Yeah, and special thanks to our guests at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Who seemingly have promised a lot but have disappeared and not delivered on any of those promises, much like Ubisoft. So,
hey, they did keep one promise though. That there was one thing that was completely kept through. But I'm going to end. I'm going to just...
Yeah, I'll let you end the show with this anecdote. By all means.
Thank you for staying for this beautiful podcast.
Thank you. And goodbye. And goodbye. And goodbye. And goodbye. And